Women in Focus. We are interviewing a published author. Her name is Mona Arora, and she is traveling. Let's find out why is she traveling, and why is her book called Mona Waited? Journey of an Indo-Canadian Woman. How are you doing?
I'm really doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Sushmaji, on your show.
Such a beautiful cover.
Thank you.
How did you come up with this?
The cover, so when you said I'm traveling, what I feel that
Yes.
you never get to the destination in your lifetime.
Yeah.
The life is a continuous journey of your learning, of your growth, of inspiration, of empowerment, and that's the reason I wanted to make something as a cover that it is a continuous growth, it's a continuous journey, never stop, never come to the place and say I've reached, because you never will.
So you mean to say people do not have goals, or their goals keep changing?
They do have goals, and the goals keep changing depending upon the phase you're in your life.
Right.
And also, very important, adapting to whichever phase comes in your life.
Okay.
For example, if I was to look at my life, there's things happen in my life that I never imagined in a million years that would happen to me. Some are not so good, some are great. But when the not so good happens, your phase change, and so does your goal, and so does your vision, so does your growth. And sometimes you could feel that I have come to the end, but that's where the new journey starts then.
So in other words, it's like a tree, right? There are different branches.
Absolutely.
So you either go up straight, or you can deviate.
Yeah.
When you started writing this book, there must be a beautiful story behind it. I mean, a book like this, what made you write a book? What was it, what moment in your life were you in that you thought, I'm going to write a book, eh?
You know, I used to run a meditation groups, and the reason I started meditation groups is because I had gone through a very big dip in my life. But I also realized that in that moment that you could be in your darkest times, you could be in a dark time of your life, but you can still be light to others. So that's when I started doing meditation groups, because meditation was really helping me. My mom, who passed away many, many years ago, she started coming to my meditations and started to guide me the way, not to give up. And she started reminding me certain things, which I had forgotten because I was only 3 or 4 or 5 years old. But she started reminding me, you remember I used to do this, do that. So I just felt that inner voice I needed to listen to. And so I was sitting in a group of people, like ladies that came to from my meditation group. And one of the ladies said, your story is such an inspiration. Some people don't think that way. Only if some more people can learn about it. And I don't know, that night when I went to bed, I was like, I need to write this book for that one person. I never thought that I wanted to write this book for millions. I only wanted to write it for one person that whose life can may change.
Right.
And that's how I started. So some people ask me, said, how long did it take you to write your book? I'm like, thinking 5 years, but actually doing it 4 months.
Really? The moment you thought about that woman and to write a book, and then you started writing it, it took only 4 months.
It literally did, because it was a clarity, it was a vision, it was a purpose. And until I got aligned with my purpose, nothing can change. And that goes for anything in our life. Once we know the purpose behind it, why we're doing it, everything comes together.
I believe that when we come on this plane, we know what we want. Our soul knows what we want. The soul comes here to learn. And then there are things that we want and we attract, right? So we ask the universe to give it to us, and the universe makes every effort to make sure that you get what you are asking for. It is up to you to understand and realize that, hey, this is an opportunity that I've been waiting for, and take it. But people get very scared and very worried. Do you feel that?
So it's funny you said that the universe, and you said that you asked for it. One of the chapters actually dedicated that universe only knows one language, and that's the language of yes. Meaning that if you put your fears out, if you put your worries out, if you put your doubts out, the universe is going to say yes. Meaning that oh, I worry how I'm going to pay my bill tomorrow. And you're going to find that you're in a constant battle of paying your bills, because the universe is going to say, yes, you're going to worry. Yes, you're going to worry.
You're
You
right.
only know yes, right?
Yes.
But if you're telling the universe, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and the universe saying, yes, your wish is my command. I always say there's a genie in our life. I truly believe where your focus grows, it
Yes.
grows. So it is very, very important to keep your thoughts onto the manifestation of what you truly desire.
Right.
Now, here's the thing though, when I was going through my life, when you're going through so much, it is very hard to stay positive. It is very hard. When you have bills to pay, as a single mom, you're raising your kid, like so many things are going on, and then somebody comes around and say, hey, you gotta think positive. It may not be possible. But what's important is that you stay connected, that this is just the journey where I'm going, but my vision is this.
Yeah,
and you
this is
stay
just a
connected
route.
with the vision. This is just a route that
Yeah.
I have to break this wall. So it's funny, my son was about 9 or 10 years old when I was going through all the situations. And one night, I literally did not even have a month rent to pay that next day. And one night, I literally was praying to God, God, give me courage, God, give me courage, God, give me courage, because my rent is due. And it's funny, my son got up. I always feel that somebody comes into your life as a messenger.
Yeah.
He gets up in the morning, he's getting ready for school, he comes out of shower, and I'm making his breakfast. And he was in grade, as I said, he was in grade 7 or 8. And he comes out of shower and he goes, you know what, Mom, sometimes you know how people ask for courage?
Yeah.
I'm like, he was sleeping when I was praying, right? I'm like, how does he know? I was like, okay, yeah. So I just pretended I don't know that he knows or doesn't know. So I was like, yeah, please go ahead, tell me. And he goes, you know how people ask for courage? I'm like, yes. He goes, you know what? God doesn't give you courage. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, God gives you the situations to be courageous.
Yeah.
And that kind of answered my question right
Yeah.
away. I was like, so true. When we hit the wall, it's God's way of saying it. Something bigger is coming.
That's right, and find a way out of this situation, and you can find a way, and you did.
Yeah, surely did. Surely did.
Your life seems to be very interesting. I want to take you back to your childhood and follow you through that. And you said your mother passed away when you were very young. But let's take a short commercial break and come back. Okay?
Yes.
Mona Arora is our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Women in Focus. Mona Arora is our Woman in Focus today. Mona, we were talking about your journey. So, were you born in Canada or you?
No, India. I was born in India. I was a teenager when I came here.
Where were you born?
I was born in Jalandhar, Punjab.
Okay. and what did your parents decide? Why did they decide to come to Canada?
Actually, what happened, my sister, she got married in Canada. I was in about 14 or 15 at the time, maybe 14, when she got married in Canada. And one of my mom's biggest dream, we had 3 sisters, so one of my mom's biggest dream was that daughters have to be together.
Oh, I see.
So that's how my sister sponsored us at the age of, as I said, at the age of 14.
So you came as your dad's dependent.
I did, but when my sister applied for me, actually I think it was 13, because it took us about 2-3 years or something like that, or longer actually, because I came in 93 and my sister got married in 88 or 89, something like that. But in any case, when she sponsored us, she sponsored it for myself, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And in the meantime, my other sister also got married and came here. I went into boarding college and while I was waiting for my sponsorship, and my mom passed away as well. So I ended up coming with my dad.
Okay. So you said that when you are meditating, your mom comes and she guides you. That is something very internal for you, right? So your relationship, are you the youngest in the family?
I am the youngest.
So your relationship with your mom must have been very, very close.
The reason it was very close, not only because I was the youngest, is actually, even if you were to ask me to imagine my mom today, I don't think I would ever be able to imagine her healthy. I was only about 2-3 years old when my mom had an arthritis. And so every time when I've seen my mom, I've always seen her limping. She could not even cook. She couldn't really do much for me. So my upbringing had been, because my sisters were still young. One was 9 years old, one was 11 years old, and here a 4-year-old. I used to go to either my neighbors or somewhere to get my hair cut or get dressed, because my sisters are dressing themselves up. My other sister was taking care of the kitchen and the cooking. So we were so young to take care of each other. So we kind of raised ourselves up.
Oh, I see.
So I became very, very close to that time to my mom because I could feel that I wasn't getting her love,
Right.
but yet I know she wanted to give me all of that.
Yeah.
So slowly I became very close to my mom, but couldn't really build much memories as a young girl.
Right.
But I think I really built my more memories with her when I was in my meditation.
So when you came to Canada, how was it for you?
Till I kid.
You did not.
I did not actually. Oh my God, this is funny. So I was a month into the country. Even though we raised ourselves, we took care of ourselves. Like we did have a couple of servants here and there to come and do the dishes and everything. But still, regardless of that, when I came here, I still remember I was only 3 weeks into it. I was the first one to get the job. My dad was still looking for a job, overqualified, of course. He was an architect back in Mumbai. So I remember I packed all my clothes in 2 different garbage bags, one for laundry, one for ironing.
Yeah.
And I gave it to my dad, and my dad was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Can you get this laundry? And this is iron." And my dad was like, No. We do here everything. Like, you have to do everything here. I'm like, wait a second. So I cook, I go to work, I have to clean, and I have to do the laundry, and I have to do the iron. I'm like, ironing is something's never going to be on my list. So can you book my ticket back? I'm not staying here. But of course, 24, 25, 26 years later, the rest is history.
Yeah. So if you had to go back, do you think you could? You did. Would you be able to live there?
I did.
Yeah. And how long did you stay there?
So what happened when my son was born back in '99? I still remember he was 1 month old, and my biggest dream was I love my country. I love Canada. It gave me being independent, but I love my roots that came from India. So when I was holding my son, who was only a month old, and my biggest dream in that moment and vision was only if I can go back and take him there and have him study, and he knows Indian national anthem. I grew up singing that, right?
Yeah.
So grade 5 and 6, I took 2.5 years off in between, and I took my son to Gurgaon. He studied there in college and in school.
Yeah.
And my biggest vision was, and I kid you not, I still have his video to the date, when he came to me a night before his grade 5 graduation. He goes, "Mom, something's going to happen tomorrow. Can you make sure you don't cry?" I'm like, "Oh, you're graduating grade 5. So obviously I'm going to have some emotions, right?" I was sitting in the front row. He comes in his grade 5 graduation. This is in Delhi, and he's singing Indian national anthem. I'm falling up.
And you knew that.
I knew that.
Yeah. So you talk about your son. So obviously you were married.
Yes, I was back then.
And how did you meet your husband? And I understand you're not married to him anymore.
No, I'm not. So it was an arranged marriage.
Oh, okay.
It was an arranged marriage. It was a typical matrimonial in the newspaper in India.
Okay.
That's how I got married, and I stayed in that marriage for 14 years. And I've shared this in my book as well. I mean, for those that are listening, being a single mom or maybe going through some challenges or they are not in a relationship anymore, one thing I would say, and I've said that in my book too, if I was to look back to my life, if I was to ask who was your true master, who changed your life, I would say it was my ex-husband. Because was there some challenges? Absolutely. Is there a reason why we went our ways? Absolutely. I was literally a penniless on the street. I did not even have the money to put the bread and butter for my son on the table. And this is how the situation got. But now when I look back and where I am with my life and my bond with my son, I'm remarried. And then I look at all of that would have not been possible. This book would have not been possible. My journey, my spirit, my meditations with my mom and my mom coming back into my life would have not been possible if I didn't go through that darkest time with my past relationship. So if I was to say who changed my life and who put me on the course of this growth and spirituality, I would say it was my ex-husband. Even though we don't talk, but I say that the people that push your button the most, or the people that have hurt you the most, are the true masters that changing the course of your life.
Yeah, I guess that is true to a certain extent, because there has to be a catalyst, and he happened to be that. And your son is old now.
Yes.
And what is he doing?
He goes to Cortland, and he wants to do a computer science. I would say one thing to any parent that's listening, especially moms, is build a bond, very, very strong bond with your children. Because if I was to look back and where I was with my life and when the things were falling apart, if one person that really held my hand and really said you can do it again, it was my son. And it was very important. I'm so glad when the times were really, really good, that I was able to teach him about where we're really talking about to think is to create, thought becomes things, whatever you think about, you become about. I was teaching him at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that when the time came, he became my inspiration. So you can't give up now. So,
that's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Now, Indian people usually feel marriage is once in a lifetime for them. You married, you divorced, you're married again. And how did this happen?
Going back to your first sentence that you said that the marriage is one thing, that's how I felt too when I got married. So when I got married to him, it was an arranged marriage. I was very clear this was my relationship for a lifetime. Did we get through our ups and downs? Absolutely. But again, as a culture we are brought up in, you give everything. You always put the needs of your husband first. Not from the place of you have to, just because that's a culture. I did that. But when it came to the point that you want to do right thing for your children, that's when I was like, I need to take a step. So I did. Going back, I dedicated my life to my son, and I did not want it to be in a relationship until I had a relationship with myself. And the minute I started to have a relationship with myself, I started to love myself. I wasn't looking for a relationship. That's when this relationship walked in. So when he walked in, I told him, I said, listen, I'm very content where I am. Not looking for anyone to come and complete me. But because I wasn't looking, and because I felt so complete and comfortable in my own skin, that when that relationship came into my life, it was not to complete me, it was to share my completeness with somebody. And we just got married about 7, 8 months ago.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a short break, but I want to come back and talk to you about the success of the book.
Thank you.
And are you writing another one?
We'll talk about it.
Mona Arora is our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Woman in Focus. Mona Arora is our Woman in Focus today, author, published book. So you are now a mother of 2.
I'm a bonus child.
Yes. So your bonus child is a girl, I understand.
Yes, it is.
So you're lucky. You've got a boy and you've got a
complete family.
Yeah. So writing this book. When did you start writing this book?
This got published in 2016.
2016. So
I wrote it in the early of 2016.
Right. So are you working on another book?
It is in the midst. I am writing actually another one, which is gonna be the series to this one. This one talks a lot more about my journey where I lost everything. I brought my motivation back. And now I want to talk about more on empowering women, that to empower others that have brought themselves back. So I'm actually putting success stories together now for the women that have created difference in their life and the other people's life. I don't know if I would have made any difference in my life or in other people's life, because I feel that when you have something more responsibility on you, you want to do it for that responsibility. And I think I'm so grateful that I had a child with him, my ex-husband, because that kept me focused on my purpose.
You know, in life, obviously, and you mentioned that the journey never ends. So in your case, you're still en route.
I am.
And where are you going?
Yeah. If I was to look at my life now, do I still go through my ups and downs? Absolutely. I always say that, stress, let's talk about stress for a second. I have people say that I want to release my stress. I don't want to have any stress. And I always tell people, stress is not going to go anywhere. Like traffic is not going anywhere. That is a stress in itself, right? It is how you deal with it. So if I was to look at my life right now, I'm still going through my ups and downs. I'm a businesswoman. There's times when the business works, there's times that doesn't. I'm raising a teenager who's 20 now. There's times when we have a great relationship, and there's times when he's like, Mom. So I still go through that, and that's what this continuous journey is all about. That there's times when you're going to be stuck. There's times when the things are working for you, but not to give up and keep finding your motivation. Why? Keep your why way much bigger. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the purpose behind it?
When you look at the South Asian community and South Asian women, especially our women, I see you at many functions. You know many people. You mingle with them. What is the strength in these women, and what is the weakness?
I'm, and again, I say this with a lot of humbleness. I always say when you are talking to someone, and Zig Ziglar said this something very beautiful. He said, whenever you meet someone, always meet them as if they're the most important person in the world, and always see them bigger than they see themselves. So when I'm out or when I'm mingling or when I'm at the events, it's not only from the place that I want to be seen. I always go to these places that who can I connect with? Who can I connect with? And what meaningful conversations. Like you would hardly hear me talk about how's the weather, how's your dress, how's this. You'll always hear me talk about what are your dreams, what are your goals. It's like how are we inspiring others? And when I look at these women, I just feel that especially with our South Asian community, we have so much to offer. When I connect with these women, I feel that they have so much to offer. It's just sometimes they need to be made aware of. Live your life. Come out of cocoon. There are people waiting. And you know what? I'm a big fan of Dalai Lama's one of the quotation, and he said the world will be saved by a Western woman. And I feel that's where we all, like even if you look at the leaders of the leaders right now, more women are coming out. So how do we inspire them? How do we empower them?
And what do you think needs to be done?
I think, like for my part, I do run some motivational seminars here and there. So I think that's what needs to happen. We need to come out more. We need to have something more. Like I go to these events, and every event I go to, and I'm a fashionist. Like I love fashion. But everything is around fashion. So I was talking to someone, I was like, you know what, I really want to create a fashion, but the fashion that is talking about the scars behind that. Like I want to bring a fashion show, but it will call Scars, meaning that where people are not afraid, the woman is not afraid to show her maybe stretch marks. I don't know, maybe like I have a burn mark, I'm not afraid to show it. So how do we reveal the true self rather than like using the fashion towards a motivation?
So would you see your next book being released? How long before you release that?
It is in the process of writing, so it'll be difficult for me to put the date. However, I am thinking of bringing a documentary, but documentary more about where we can talk about the ladies or the women that have gone through whatever they've gone through, and how did they change their life from that point on.
That would be very nice. That'd be fantastic.
Maybe we can do the project together.
Sure we can. We can always do so many things together. Mona, you're such an inspiration, such a beautiful book, Journey of an Indo-Canadian Woman by Mona Arora. If you haven't read it, go ahead and get it. Where can you get the book? Amazon. Can you get it from Amazon? Read it. I want to thank you for being our Woman in Focus today.
Thank you so very much. Because of you, that the word will get out more. So thank you.
Don't go away.